Shah Jahan. Shah Jahan was the fifth Mughal emperor of India who ruled from 1628 to 1657. Born as Prince Khurram, he was the son of Emperor Jahangir and his Hindu Rajput wife Taj Bibi Balkis Makran. With Jahangir's death in 1627, his Mughal wife Noor Jahan wanted her son-in-law Shahryar to ascend to the throne. Shahryar was in Deccan during this time, and Noor Jahan, she declared him as an emperor. Prince Khurram's father-in-law, Asaf Khan, he revolted against this decision and he sent the forces and defeated Shahryar and Noor Jahan. And then he placed Prince Khurram on the throne and gave him the title of Shah Jahan, or the ruler of the world. Shah Jahan's rule was full of activities and there were many revolts. He was able to put down the revolt of Bundela Rajputs. He got Bijapur and Golconda in Deccan to sign the treaty with him and promised loyalty to the Mughals. They were not annexed but had to pay annual tributes. He also sent his army to faraway Balkh and Badakhshan in Central Asia. This, as well as the campaign to recover Kandahar, was unsuccessful. The Portuguese, they had established themselves in the different parts of the empire. Shah Jahan, he kept a close watch on them. And when he came to know that the Portuguese, they were creating a lot of trouble and they were not paying the custom duties, he defeated them. And this caused a heavy loss to them. Shah Jahan was a firm and a very capable ruler. Under his rule, architecture witnessed a great, tremendous growth. He was a master builder. When Mumtaz Mahal died in 1631, Shah Jahan built the Taj Mahal to house the tomb of his beloved wife. The Taj Mahal remains one of the wonders of the world to this day. He also built a new city, Shah Jahanabad, which was the seventh city of Delhi, and he made it his capital. In the year 1657, Shah Jahan fell ill. In the Mughal dynasty, there was no clear law of succession, and even before the death of Shah Jahan, a fight broke out between his four sons, Dara, Shuja, Murad and Aurangzeb. Aurangzeb defeated and killed his main rival Dara and imprisoned Shah Jahan at Agra Fort. So, we see that Aurangzeb came to the throne in the year 1658 after defeating his brothers and after making his father a prisoner at Agra Fort. This completes your topic of Shah Jahan. Now we will study about the last Mughal emperor, that is Aurangzeb or Alamgir, which means conqueror of the world. He ruled for 49 years just like Akbar. The empire of Aurangzeb was the biggest anyone had ever ruled in India. In his long rule from the year 1658 to 1707, Aurangzeb was almost always at war with one ruler or the other. He spent first half of his 50 years reign, that is from 1658 to 1680, in Northern Territory, that is in North India, and from 1681 to 1707 in the Deccan region. There were many revolts during the time of Aurangzeb, and Aurangzeb, what he did, he reimposed jizya, the religious tax on non-Muslims, which Akbar had abolished. In North India, he increased the land tax from 1/3 to 1/2 of the produce. The Jats of Agra Mathura region, the Satnamis, and the Bundelas, they all revolted against it. The most powerful revolt, that was of the Rajputs, the Sikh, and the Marathas. Most of the time of Aurangzeb was spent in crushing these revolts. We have already studied that how Akbar had been very careful to maintain good and friendly relations with the Rajputs. But what Aurangzeb did? He tried to annex their kingdoms, he waged several battles against them, and as a result, he lost the loyalty and the support of the Rajputs also. He lost money, he lost time, and many of his generals in these battles. Next is the Deccan policy of Aurangzeb. He spent around 26 years of his life and reign in the Deccan, which he could neither control or ignore. He wanted to crush the power of Marathas and strengthen his position in the Deccan. Aurangzeb annexed Bijapur in the year 1686 and Golconda in the year 1687. But all these conquests, they did not benefit his empire. Do you know why? Because it was very difficult for him to keep a control on these lands as they were very far away from his capital. The Mughals, they also had to face the Marathas who grew in number and strength. He tried repeatedly to put an end to them, but he failed. Aurangzeb suffered a heavy loss of soldiers as well as money. So we see that his policy, the Deccan policy, was a failure because he could not subdue the Marathas, and having the continuous war with the Marathas resulted in a heavy loss of money as well as his soldiers. Aurangzeb was an orthodox, means he believed in old thoughts. He was a God fearing Muslim. Just like the other Mughal emperors, he had a very simple lifestyle. Means he was not like the other Mughal emperors. He had a very simple lifestyle. He never wore the costly robes, never used gold and silver vessels. Moreover, he did not even indulge in food and drink or the dress that was prohibited in Quran. He used to follow the ritual practices like prayers and fasting. But he was also said to be very suspicious in nature. He was very cunning and very cold in temperament. He even sewed the caps and he copied Quran onto it so that he could sell it and he could earn money. And instead of taking the money from his treasury. And just because of his very simple life, he was also called Zinda Fir or a living saint. As a ruler, Aurangzeb was short-sighted. Slowly, he started becoming very unpopular, and his policies also pushed his empire towards decline. This completes your topic of Aurangzeb.